Comrade Show. The Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriak. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. The Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriak. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. The Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriak. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show.
Good evening, my people, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and you're welcome to the Comrade Show. Just before we start, I want to formally apologize to all our viewers across the world that we are starting just 10 minutes behind schedule today. My apologies. We had a few technical issues, but it's now been resolved. Also, too, to our viewers, especially those in Nigeria, our time in the United Kingdom changed this morning. And as such, viewers from Nigeria will now join and be able to see the Comrade Show from 6 p.m. Nigerian time. And we'll be broadcasting all the way from the United Kingdom, 5 p.m. And I think the time will also change for people in other climes. But I just wanted to put that to our viewers, especially those in Nigeria, so that you know and adjust your set. Like I said, it's the Comrade Show, our Sunday tonic. I want to say a very pleasant evening to everybody. This 31st day of October 2021. Down here in the West and the United Kingdom, we are celebrating a feast called Halloween. So for our Western fans and viewers, I say happy Halloween. Today, I'm not alone, but I'm being given this very important opportunity to moderate today's show. As usual, our focus is more on Edo State, a bit of Nigeria, and things happening generally around us. There are lots of issues that we'll be talking about today, but before I go further, I want to introduce the team so that we'll get ourselves ready and begin to bang the drums. Without further ado, we have the man in charge, the CNC of the Great Comrade Show, Comrade Lante Oriak. Can you please say hello to the people, my brother?
Thank you very much, my brother Austin. Thank you very much for having us. Of course, Edo people, Nigerians across the world, I salute you and I greet you and I thank you guys for joining us. Please, if you are joining us, share the broadcast. It's the Comrade Show, the Comrade Friends. Today is going to be quite interesting, and please stay with us. Don't go away. Over to you, Austin.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lante, for that wonderful introduction. It's good to see you again. And we have another musketeer, the man, the brain behind everything that we do. We at the Comrade Show, we call him Doctor of Letters. No other but Comrade Dr. Tony Agbonseda. Please say hello to our people.
Thank you, my brother, Comrade Pharmacist Austin Agboje Remira. I greet you so much. Thank you for taking the mantra of anchoring this show today. Our people, I greet all of you anywhere you are in the world. Hello. We thank God it is the last Sunday of the 10th month of the year. Like joke, we are moving towards November by tomorrow. We thank God. Thank you all for joining us. Again, I join the comrade to ask us, please share this broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you all. Over to you, Comrade Iramira.
Thank you so much, Comrade Dr. Tony Agbons and Comrade Lante Baosa for that beautiful introduction. The stage is now set for us to begin our Sunday tonic. Like you know, we always like to celebrate everything our own. Our focus is Edo State. And today, just before we start, we want to celebrate the true son of Edo land, a legendary musician who a few days ago, I think on the 29th of October, celebrated his birthday. I'm talking of no other but the legend popularly called Give Woman the Chance. Our own musician, a veteran, Ambassador Joseph Osayamore. You remember growing up in Benin, you would always hear that beautiful song. Give woman the chance. That's also man for everything for our country. That's the man there. We wish him all the best. And we say that God will give him good health, both of mind and body, to continue to forge ahead in life. Dr. Tony Agbons, what do you have to say to our legendary Benin son who celebrates his birthday just 2 days ago?
My brother, thank you for bringing this to our attention here on the Comrade Show. Osamore Joseph, for people of my generation, is a true legend. I know nowadays people use the word legend anyhow. But when you talk of musician like Osamore Joseph, my brother, the first thing that comes to your mind is that, the ribbon that he always put across his forehead.
Yeah.
He's a true legend. Osayomore Joseph and the Ulele Power Sound. Those are musicians. Proper musician, not the music they are playing with computer these days. Musician. Iyomo migo. Again, nuna suse. Those are songs. And like the one you mentioned about now, they Give Woman a Chance. Indira Gandhi. We all knew the song. He also sang Okada Air that time. That song made that airline so popular. So Osamore Joseph, happy birthday to you. We celebrate you because when people are alive, we need to celebrate them, like we always do on this platform. We congratulate himself for all he has done, because he has used his music, as a social message. Osamore Joseph is a social crusader. So I rejoice with him, and I join you to say happy birthday, sir, and many, many, many happy returns. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. Because you are a good man, the Lord will answer your prayers. And that prayer will be for the legend Osamore Joseph. Asinsi Komilamte Ponsaraki, what do you have to say to this enigma?
Yes, brother, we are lucky, honestly, as a people, in this generation, that we've had the privilege of experiencing somebody like Osamore Joseph. I think it's a huge privilege because it's not common. It doesn't happen in every generation that you have people who are very exemplary, who have left, wonderful print, in the sound of time, people who, will live forever, and Osamore Joseph is one of those persons. So I really would say that this generation is a privileged generation, and all we owe him, because we are still very much privileged that he's here with us. All we owe him is to celebrate him and keep celebrating him, pray for him to live, much, 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 much longer, with us, because he has a lot to offer. What adjective are you going to use to describe Osamore Joseph? The truth of the matter is that this man is a legend. He's a legend in every way. Earlier today, I was trying to Google some things about him, and I started to be corrected, but I was a bit taken aback to find out that Osamore Joseph is not on Wikipedia. I didn't find anything on Wikipedia, about Osamore Joseph. And I want to use this medium to quickly say, I'm saying it publicly, I will chase it up privately, that those, who are probably his handlers should quickly do something about that. It's very important. The world may want to know Osamore Joseph from any part of this world. Every information about Osamore Joseph, his works, his philosophies, everything should be on Google, because the world we are right now, you just with a click, you should have all the basic information that you need to have. So with a personality like Osayiemori Joseph, and we don't have him on Wikipedia, it means that, if this is correct, it means that those handling him, they may not be doing, the right things completely. And so I'm saying it publicly, privately. I'm sure that we're going to take it up, and by the grace of God, as soon as possible, all basic information about Osayiemori Joseph should be on Wikipedia. It's very important. But having said that, I want to say very happy birthday, and I pray that God Almighty will keep him and sustain him for much, 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 longer for us. We are happy, we are glad, and we are glad to continue to enjoy, his works. That's all I would say for now, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamto Ikpaosa, for that. Whilst also recognizing that there is need to celebrate our legend, you are also not happy that it's not on Wikipedia. I think it should be, because we have to celebrate ourselves and keep our history. If we don't, nobody else will do it for us. But on the final note on this, I want to say a very happy birthday to the legendary Ambassador Joseph Osayiemori, and we pray that God will give you long life, sweet longevity, and you will enjoy all the fruits of your labor, and all your family will always be there to celebrate with you. God bless you, and happy birthday. That's all about celebrating our legend today. We want to go straight to the cocoa of the matter. On our advert, we've said that we're going to be talking about the Eastern Security Network and, of course, governance in Nigeria. You agree with me that security has been a very huge problem in Nigeria for the last, say, about 10 years. And every day, there is always one problem or the other. And the government is seriously grappling with trying to sort this out, and we don't seem to have any direction. You agree with me that in the East, this has taken a different dimension. Over the last 3 to 4 days, there have been very unverified videos about killings and shootings, reprisal attack from the military or even the Eastern Security Network. Although we cannot vividly verify all of them, we don't know if it's true, but when things like this happen, it is clear that all is not well. And you know that every Monday, the Eastern Security Network has issued an order that people from the East should not come out. Most of the times, these orders have been obeyed. Even when the president visited, there was still also a sit-at-home order. What is even surprising now is that one would have expected that some degree of reducing tension would have happened, but it seemed not to be so. Next Saturday, the 6th of November, is the election of Anambra State governorship election. And should this continue, what will happen to the election? Over the last week, the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, issued a threat saying that a state of emergency will be issued or declared in Anambra State. And the incumbent governor and many other Eastern people came out to rebuke that. It was also alleged that the president also said he wasn't even aware and never sent Malami to make such statements. That said, the election is on Saturday. Even the candidates, some of them did not even campaign in the states. They've been campaigning in Lagos and other areas. I think I watched a video where Soludo was campaigning or so, or probably was attacked. I don't really know. But the question today is, should Anambra election be stopped? What are the implications? And I think my humble appeal would be that everybody concerned should drop put their swords down and allow the democratic process of election in Anambra State to take place. We shall be reviewing this today and giving our own suggestion to see how we can make this election possible with less rancor, and we can then take it off from there. My brother Tony, I'll be coming straight to you. Eastern security issues and the Anambra election. What is your take?
Yeah, thank you very much. Our anchor, Comrade Austin Iremira. Like you have rightly pointed out in your introductory statement for this topic, the security situation in the entire eastern region, Anambra, Abia, Enugu, Ebonyi, Imo, my brother, it's been really, really terrible. It has become a case of the more you look, the less you see. It is really, really terrible. We know that the issue of IPOB and, the matter of, IPOB saying that the East should secede from Nigeria, has been there. But in the last 1 year, there have been a lot of killings, destruction of, private and government property. We see all these things in the news. And this has really heightened with the election that is coming in Anambra State on Saturday. And like you have rightly pointed as well, even some candidates could not even campaign in Anambra. They could not. We saw some campaign going on in Lagos. So, and then you begin to ask yourself, what is going on? For me, I want to, make an appeal to our brothers in the East. I think everybody should calm down. And we cannot punish ourselves, because the every Monday sit-at-home order is costing our people millions of naira. So businesses are closed. And I have friends in the East, and I've made phone calls to some of them. Some of them don't even want to, because it's not. I want to make this clear. It is not everybody in the East that subscribe to the methodology, the method, and the technique that IPOD has adopted. Not everybody. Although I'll come to that later. But some people don't even want to subscribe to the sit-at-home. But there's always this fear that if they go and open their shops, they can be killed, or their businesses can be destroyed. And so there is fear. And the police, the Nigerian police, cannot even guarantee security. And then IPOB has been gaining traction in the East because of the way the government of the day, the federal government, has been handling the whole issue with Nnamdi Kanu and all that. So I want to also appeal to the federal government to change their tactics. If you are doing something that is not working, you make a U-turn. You can't, like we said last week, the issue of Biafra didn't start today. This matter has been on right from the time of His Excellency the late Dim Chukwuemeka Ojukwu. So it's been on, Odumegu Ojukwu, it's been on. So, and then we say, okay, one Nigeria, and then time of Gowon, and then they came back and all that. So some of the issues are still there. So I want to again put my voice to what a lot of Nigerians have been saying. The government need to, change their tactics, dialogue with people, call people together. Okay, what is the problem? Let us talk. But you don't hear that kind of thing from the side of government. They just say, oh, we will smash them, we will use force. So even some people before who didn't even support what IPOB is saying and all that, they've got the consideration. They are not sympathizers to the cause. So those are the issues. So for the Anambra election, I will tell you that campaigns have not been properly done. But like you would expect, I was reading during the week, the Inspector General of Police, I think they're going to have about 34,000 police, all the AIGs, commissioners of police. So they are going to police everything so that people can vote. But when you look at it, is that how a democracy is supposed to be? So for me, these are some of the issues. But I want to appeal to our brothers in the East. Let us not destroy ourselves. If we have issues with the federal government, there are better ways of doing it. This sit at home every week is not, to me, it's not achieving anything.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. You couldn't have been more clear. The summary is that you appeal to the Easterners to drop their shield. Let us approach these issues with dialogue. I just want to read what Daniel Iselogbe just said. I think it's trying to be a bit comical. I don't know. He says Buhari is too nice to IPOB. I don't know how that goes down well. It's I don't know if we have Comrade Lamte in the house.
Oh yes, I'm here, bro.
Yeah, because okay. I just want to get your quick input on security and Anambra issue. While Dr. Tony Agbons was talking, he mentioned something about the IG sending 24,000 policemen. And he also came to the conclusion that when police are everywhere, there is no true democracy. The electoral process is not going on very well. We are lucky. This is one of an off-season election. Where are we going to have 24,000 policemen to be distributed? 34,000, I've been corrected. 34,000 policemen to be distributed to the 36 states of the federation, including Abuja, if we're going to have a national election. So it calls for worry. But I'll just let you have a quick input for now, just to see what you think about the Eastern security situation and the forthcoming Anambra election.
If you don't mind, bro, when you started earlier, of course, we know that these days a lot of things fly around in the internet. But when you get information from Chinese television, okay, you can be sure that there's some level of authenticity to it. And so I'm going to like to play footage, okay, about the East today. Areas like Anambra, Enugu, all those places today, and the security situation and all of that. This is supposedly peacetime in Nigeria. Let's watch so that our audience can actually have a feel of what we're talking about. Then we come down to, try to, analyze the situation, as it were. Let's watch this. So now this is peacetime in Nigeria, in the East. And what we have there, to very many of us who are watching, because we are not there, it may just be like one of those kind of clips we see fly around on social media. That footage or that, what you just watched now was put together by Channels Television. And that is what parts of the Eastern region looks like today. And all of that. This is no joke. First and foremost, there are people in the East, the people who call themselves the Biafra. I've seen some other footages of some of these guys, the Biafra soldiers that want to restore Biafra, okay, who are the targets by the Nigerian military and all of that, the police and all of that. Now, between the military and of course the people they are looking for, there are thousands, if not millions, of innocent people, women and children. Now you can begin to imagine, okay, the kind of terror, the kind of trauma people are undergoing just now in the Eastern region of Nigeria. You can begin to imagine the kind of terror that is embracing the entire Eastern region of Nigeria because of all of this. Now, who's to blame? Who's to blame? The truth of the matter is, some months ago, I made a broadcast, and somehow the things I said about that broadcast, they are all coming to play right now. When the Eastern Security Network was newly founded, I made a broadcast, and I warned that one of the reasons why, and I say this publicly, one of the reasons why I admire the personality of Nnamdi Kanu, okay, but there are aspects of what he does that I honestly object to. The approach to some of these things. And I must say this is important because it's instructive. I must say this, that it is not only in Nigeria we have people coming together to agitate for self-determination, to agitate for a referendum. It's not only in Nigeria. We have Catalan in Spain. We have the Scottish people, even today as we speak, in the UK. We have the Taiwanese as part of China, wanting to have total independence and total freedom and all of that. But some of these people, as time goes on, they will still get their independence. But what they are doing, they are persistent. They are passively resisting, but they are not resorting to violence. They are not resorting to violence. When the Eastern Security Network was set up by Nnamdi Kanu, I made a broadcast. I said, why this may be, a good thing if handled by the authorities, the political authorities in the state, to truly checkmate and cover security, setting this up by a private arrangement like this will definitely have a way of not playing up very well. And that's exactly what we have had now. Eastern Security Network was set up by Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, the IPOB Biafra arrangement has a very large support and all of that. And so volunteers came up from everywhere. They have a lot of resources flowing around. People are supporting, but people truly want Biafra. That is on that part. Then on the part of Nigeria, unfortunately, we have a leadership in Nigeria that many of us, without apologies, can refer to a leadership that don't care. Ethnic cleansing is one thing that they will enjoy if it comes to that. And what we are seeing right now, that the police deployed, the soldiers deployed from wherever, from Nigeria to the east, what they are doing right now is ethnic cleansing. That is how many of us will see it. Now, there is no way one wrong will give birth to another wrong and eventually becomes a right. Because at the end of the day, I mean, in this we just saw just now, there's a report following it that about 5 or 6 members of the Eastern Security Network or whatever, the Biafra soldiers, were killed in the process. Again, now, why we are equally, pushing blame to this government on this and all of that? The birth of the Eastern Security Network, okay, has led to so many things that we cannot verify. It has become a known fact that is in the lips of everybody that people just come and kill recklessly in the name of unknown gunmen. Many people describe unknown gunmen as members of the Eastern Security Network set up by Anambra and all of that. And some people dress up in the Biafra uniform, come out and make statements publicly that you cannot actually excuse them to say, man, they are innocent of all of this that is happening. Again, there are reports equally flying around that some people were, accosted, in the name of unknown gunmen, and they were found to be Fulanis under the guise of, Biafra liberators and soldiers, and they were found to be Fulanis. So a lot is happening. The biggest culprit and the person who is the biggest problem to the insecurity in Nigeria to the east today is President Muhammadu Buhari. And that is the matter. Because whether we like it or not, people, it is people's right to agitate, to demand for referendum, for self-governance, if they go it the right way. But it is equally the prerogative of a leader like a president, okay, to continue to negotiate with these people, to say, look, this is not the direction Nigeria must face right now, but must be done, okay, in a way that it will not cause the lives of the people, in a way that the true enemy of the people, okay, will be made a scapegoat and made known to everybody. But that is not happening. Now, on the part of the Igbos, every day you hear them declare sit at home, sit at home, sit at home, sit at home, hurting the economy of the Igbo land, hurting the people of the Igbo land, creating more problems in Igbo land. Right now, people can't even go to school freely, they can't go to market freely, they can't work freely in their own land, because those who say they are fighting to liberate their land, you are fighting in your own land to create your problem in your land. You did not take the fight to Abuja. Let the battleground be Abuja. Let the battleground be Kaduna. Let the battleground be where you say your enemies are. But you are leaving the battleground in your own ground, where those who are not supposed to be part of the battle, they are all suffering all of this. So at the end of the day, there is so much foolishness, with all due respect, pardon my language, but there's so much foolishness amongst those who say they are spearheading this issue they call it Biafra thing. That's one. Now, looking at the support that Anambra and his movement actually had, I would have expected, Anambra election is coming up now, they will feed their own candidates, somebody who believes in the agenda of the IPOB movement, or the Biafra movement, of self-determination, of getting a referendum, feed their candidates across everywhere. With the popularity they have, that candidate easily will win. Let us assume that we have all the 5 Eastern governors as members of IPOB, believing in the agenda of Biafra. Do you think that if they all come together, the 5 governors and all the political entity of the East, to say, look, we demand this and this and this for the Eastern region, and they cooperate to it, do you think it will not happen? I would expect, by way of advice, that this whole shenanigans, this whole nonsense from those who are creating problems from the Eastern region should stop. Rather, they should channel their energy, not calling off to say people should boycott the election, because whether you like it or not, 5 people will come out and vote and select a governor for you. You will all be in the dark and be in the jungle. You will remain there. Fight your fight like this for the next 100 years. You will not get Biafra. And I say it with all boldness. Fight it for the next 1,000 years like this as a jungle warfare. You will not get Biafra. You cannot get it. So if people are sensible in IPOB, I would expect that you put your acts together, take over the political space in the East, make your people become the leaders of the Eastern region, and from there, begin to negotiate your Biafra arrangement. That may eventually pay off for Nigeria, for everybody. So what you guys are doing right now, bringing the enemies to come and dance in your place, kill your people, kill innocent people, destroy the land, destroy economy, destroy everything. Man, it's nothing but foolishness to me. Already, the presidency of Nigeria, with all due respect, is foolish already in the approach to this matter. And therefore, the other people, the people are supposed to be wise okay, to go to the drawing book and do the right things that they need to do, they're equally foolish, in my own opinion. At the end of the day, foolishness has made a foolishness, and the grass is suffering. The ordinary people are suffering. Those of us watching, we are having heartache because of this, and we're equally suffering alongside all of this. And it's all full of bullshit, my brother, with all due respect. My brother, sorry I took some time to talk about this. I just want to pour my mind on this matter, because honestly, I am honestly angry because the amount of people who are dying innocently because of this whole nonsense is too much, and they will not be reported, because we will not get to hear. Sorry, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamte. You have totally dissected this matter, and you have every right to be, because you are a Nigerian and you are concerned. You are not angry. You are concerned, and the killing of people any part of the world is not something that we should celebrate. And you've said a lot. I hope the message goes to those that matter. But I just want to emphasize something that you said, which I never thought about. I think my brother Tony will agree with me as well. If indeed IPOB and those craving for IPOB are popular, we should have a candidate now represented in this election, so that indeed they can take over. I think that's a very big lesson. Perhaps, maybe the IPOB people have not really thought about it. Your advice today may be a consideration for them. And like we said, everything starts small, but when it's not controlled, it becomes a problem. The government of the day is somewhat culpable, because when people ask for their right, it doesn't mean that they are antagonistic. They should be listened to. They should be given some degree of there should be some dialogue, because at the end of the day, after shooting, we must come to the table to move forward. Agitation for secession will continue. It never stops. And the only way a reasonable government will manage this is to call those people asking for these to the table and say, what do you want? How do we navigate it? Surprisingly, the East has got Eastern governors. One will ask ourselves, what are those governors doing? The people that are coming to cause this problem in the Eastern region are not aliens. And you also raise a very important point. If you kill your fellow Easterners, who will you have to even govern over? Or who will you have to even have a region over? Top names have been killed in the name of unknown gunmen. We are losing the best. We are losing lives of people in the East. And the Anambra election is another litmus test. One would argue that if this continues now, there's going to be a situation where many people will not come out for the election. And there lies my next question to Dr. Tony Agbons. I'm not a vet Nigeria electoral system, but do we have a minimum number that has to come out for voting for the governorship election to be approved or ratified? Because we don't want to give the federal government any opportunity to have a hold on Anambra State. So where we see poor turnout, Tony, can you speak to that?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. No matter the figure, I think Lamte has even mentioned it. It's only in Nigeria that even in some previous election, you find out a state governor is elected with 350,000 votes in a state of about 4 or 5 million people. That is very, very bad. So no matter the number of people that come out, my brother, whoever gets the highest number of votes, so long as it gets that number spread in certain local government, depending on the number of local government they have, that person becomes the governor. I don't want to sound alarmist, but I must tell you that this election coming on in Anambra, there are a lot of security questions dotted around it. So we are all just watching and waiting. But the police, they are assuring that people can come out and vote. But I know a lot of people, they may be too scared to come out and vote the candidate of their choice. Because like we've mentioned at the beginning, even the campaign has not been very electrifying because of the security issues. Yeah, I think some few weeks back, the husband of the former NAFDAC DG and the former Minister of Information, Dora Akunyili, the man was gunned down. You know, Dr. Akunyuli, the man was gunned down along with his driver and one other occupant in his car when he was, and there have been some other killings as well, in not just in Anambra, but in other parts of the East. So, and you know one thing with what I always say in Nigerian situation is this. With the formation of that Eastern Security Network, I remember the program that Comrade Lante is talking about. We did project that some of these things happening now, they were going to take place. Exactly. People will take advantage of it. Ordinary protests, if you notice in Nigeria, and when you are protesting for anything, some other people will just take it over, and then the protest will change. So it's always the case. So even the IPOB itself, they need to, change their strategy. So if it's a referendum you want, take over the governance of the Southeast through the political process. But because the way they are doing it now, people are just being killed in the East for nothing. For nothing. People are just being killed, like the what do you call, the Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of movie we were watching just now. In that crossfire, the stray bullet can go and kill people. People were lying down there with their stomach on the floor and all that. This is not good. So it's not good enough. So, and the economy of the Southeast is just being destroyed, while the economy of other parts of the country is going on, even though those ones also have their issues. So when you look at it, their approach, I think the approach, like I said, I speak with some people from the East, and they are saying that no, the method they are adopting now is not working. You can't get, okay, with all this killing now, the federal government will just announce in Abuja, say, okay, Eastern Nigeria, you people can go on your own. It's not going to happen like that. No government is going to allow that. No government is going to allow that. So our people need to wise up that there are ways to do it. And countries have been separated before, but some will even go for all-out war and all that. But in this case, this whole thing is just in the cycle of the Southeast there. Sit at home every Monday. Sit at home on Friday. Excuse me, this is not the way to go about it.
Sorry, sir. You are making your own land the battleground.
Exactly. You are making it the battle. You are not taking the battle out.
You are not taking the battle out.
Yes. You are not taking the battle out. So how do you do that kind of thing? So the whole thing, and I think the Ohaneze Indigbo, the Pan Igbo cultural political group, whatever, they should, elders in Igbo land, they should come out. This is not about talking about Nnamdi Kanu. This is beyond Nnamdi Kanu now, because I must tell you, because of the situation in Nigeria, a lot of some youths in the East just believe that, oh, if Biafra just start, now everything will be okay. It is very easy to say. It is not going to be like that. So there are a lot of our youth who have been disenfranchised with the Nigerian project and all that. But this system they are adopting, this, and you hear something happen, they say it's unknown gunmen that attacked INEC office. Then you hear unknown gunmen, they burn down police station in the East. So who is unknown gunmen? So people are hiding under the guise of unknown gunmen to unleash mayhem on innocent citizens. This is not the way to go. So again, I want to call on the government at the center, the federal government. They also need to change their tactics, because this their current system is not working. And in April, the 5 Eastern governors met, and they formed the Ebubeagu, the equivalent of Amotekun that we have in the Southwest. As we speak, Ebubeagu has not been able to take off, because Nnamdi Kanu, he cannot just form Eastern Security Network. He is not a political leader in the East. You understand? He just have an association that is, advancing agitation. So the Ebubeagu we have been expecting, they said, recently I was reading, they said by the end of this year, but nothing is happening. So the political elite in the east of Nigeria, they need to tighten their seat belts. This is time for them to show leadership and, not just sit on the fence and just be watching. That is my take, my brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother, Dr. Tony Agbons, for that input. We have said a lot on this issue, and they are not new. The only problem now is that there's an imminent election due to take place in the next 6 days, and we are very concerned. Just wrapping up on this, I'm going to come to you, Tony, but I just want a quick liner, one sentence or one suggestion from yourself and Comrade Lamte. The election is on Saturday. We hope and pray that situation doesn't get worse and the government will not call the election off. What will be your advice? First, to those in Anambra State to make this election possible. Comrade Lamte.
Look, I want to, I don't know, but I really want to say that my instinct tells me that for the sake of pride, even if the whole of East is burnt down, Buhari is not going to allow that the election be postponed, except for a different reason. They will not want to do it to say because of insecurity. Now, what the risk in this is that this election we hold, even if it is 5 people who go there to vote. And what will eventually happen is that the people who are making East ungovernable will now allow and give room for the government to now say these are the figures recorded, even though that figure will not reflect those who actually came out to vote. Do you understand the picture of what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
So I would have expected that, given the strength, given the support that the name of the Kano and IPOB, holds and controls in the East, they would have been part of this process to ensure that their own, are the ones that become the governor, the local government chairman, the this, the that, so that they just sit on the agenda. My brother, you live in the UK. As we speak, the Scottish people, they are delegates in the British Parliament. They are still chasing bills to allow for a Scottish referendum. Bro, as we speak, some years ago, the Catalans, they had no representatives in in the Spanish legislative house. Today, they have some reps right there now, and they are pushing for referendum to have a Catalan independence. So these things are political. The amalgamation of Nigeria, the nationalist movement, the eventual independence, the everything, through the First Republic, down to everything we've had, even down to the Civil War we had, they were always through negotiations. Before Nigeria was amalgamated, people were involved, that were talked to, people discussed. It is failure of negotiation that led to Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 1970. So there has to be negotiation. And the only way you can have an upper hand negotiation is by you having a larger representation, having the authorities. Now, my brother talked about Ebubeagu just now. How can they take off when even some of the recruited members of Ebubeagu, they already have complete allegiance to IPOB and to the Biafra movement? So there is no way that we can divorce Biafra from the ordinary Igbo man. I think that what the government of Nigeria should have done, this is why I said, unapologetically call the government of the day foolish, is that we have come to the stage where we must recognize that Nigeria is a nation of nations. Biafra has a right to exist. Oduduwa is a nation. The United Kingdom of Great Benin is a nation. There are so many nations in Nigeria. They all have a right to exist as nations, and we must recognize that and discuss the framework upon which this existence will be. And all Biafra needs them to do is to use the IPOB support they have right now. It's what I'm still advising, to ensure that they fill up political, the political spaces in the East with their people and start the negotiation from there. It is not a clear matter. Give it 10 years, give it 20 years, this may eventually come to pass. But if you want to go by the way of this jungle, this guerrilla warfare, it will never happen. So I think that negotiation is the only way. And I hope the federal government of Nigeria understands that instead of carrying policemen. But IPOB is killing a lot of people. When I say IPOB, I can't say. But in the name of unknown gunmen, so many people are dying needlessly. My brother just mentioned Dora Akuili's husband just now. We have seen so many. The same way the Nigerian people, police, soldiers are killing so many people needlessly. We don't even know who is innocent and who is a true soldier anymore. So the killing taking place in the East is too much already. My brother, that's my take, Sha.
Thank you so much. Just to recap, Comelante's suggestion is that the IPOB, Eastern Security Network or unknown gunmen, drop your shield, let this election happen, stop the killing of our people there, and reorganize to carry your agenda to the federal government, because this will continue. Just in that trajectory, while we wind down, Dr. Tony Agbons, what will be your final word? Election is 6 days away. What do you think federal government or the Anambra do?
Yeah, I think the election need to hold because nature, they say, abhors a vacuum. There's a governor who is finishing his tenure, Willie Obino of Apga. So there's another governor need to come in. So the election needs to go ahead, and I think for the federal pride and everything, the election will go ahead. My gut feeling tells me that the election will go ahead. And I believe with the tight security, because I think the entire security architecture, they are going to be there. Luckily enough, this is an off-season election. It's not election. Anambra is like Edo. We do our elections out of time. So the police are going to be there. So the election will go ahead, but it's not going to be very very proper. Some people may not even come out to vote.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons and Comrade Lamti, for all your input this evening on this issue. Whether we run from now to tomorrow, we still need to come to the drawing board. To our federal government, you must listen. You must call everybody to dialogue. This shows that governance is in problem. We need true leadership. The issue of restructuring is also part of the discourse, because a country prospers when everybody is in tandem and follow the same spirit. We hope and pray that the elections hold on Saturday. We appeal to everybody in the East, especially citizens of Anambra State, to do the needful. Come out to vote, be vigilant, be wise, and don't get involved in anything that will cause problem on that day. Divine Greatness just wrote, if turnout is low, there will be vacuum for rubbish rigging. And I think Dr. Tony Agbons mentioned it in his discussion. When turnouts are low, people are able to manipulate. But let's be resilient. The issues will not be resolved before Saturday. It's going to be an ongoing process. But election in Anambra State must hold. Anambra people, let's be vigilant and let's do the needful. We'll leave that there for now. And we are going straight to the second issue that we have to discuss today. 2023 is around the corner, and as part of INEC legislative electionary agenda, parties should have their congresses at a certain time before the election. The ruling party, PC, I understand, I know that they are planning their election. They've not their party conference, but they've not come out with a date yet. But just this weekend, I think it's ending today, the People's Democratic Party, the opposition party in Nigeria, had their own Congress, and we'll be talking about it today, just to deepen democracy and to see where we are. the issue of consensus has been a problem. It has now become a thing. And PDP, like they claim, is the party of consensus. I think is somewhat entrenched in their maybe unwritten, but this has been the practice. So talking about the PDP national elections at the conference and the election into national office, you recall that a few weeks ago, they all agreed that the national chairman of the party has been zoned to the northern part of Nigeria with a view that probably, maybe the president can now come from the south. But there was a caveat to that, which says that the president, as they agreed, can come from any part of the country. And you agree with me that there are so many people within the PDP that are jostling for that position. But to narrow down to the convention that this weekend, there were 21 seats, 21 national executive, and from reliable source, only 3 out of the 21 seats were contested. All the other 17 seats or 18 seats were filled by consensus agreement. We don't have the names of all the people that have taken those positions, but as soon as we have that, we'll let you know. But I can tell that the office of the national chairman was comfortably won unopposed by Senator Ayosha Ayu. Of course, we knew that before now that he has been adopted as the consensus candidate. Apart from that, 3 other positions were contested for the office of the Deputy National Chairman South, and this was won by Taofeek Arakpaji. I think he defeated the former governor of Ogun State, Olagunsoye Oyinlola. So, and the total vote was 2,400 votes to Taofeek Arakpaji, and 705 votes went to Olagunsoye Oyinlola. There was also the office of the Deputy National Chairman North. That was won by one Mr. Umar Damagum, former governorship candidate of Edo State. He defeated Ina Siroma, former Minister for Women Affairs, and the vote was 2,222 votes as against 365 votes for Ina Siroma. Then the office of the youth leader, I think the winner was Mohammed Suleiman. He defeated Usman Ekadum, and Mohammed Suleiman got a total vote of 3,072, and Usman Ekadum got a vote of 219. So those were the seats that were contested. For the first one was the office of the national chairman, which was unopposed. Then 3 other positions: Deputy National Chairman South, Deputy National Chairman North, and the youth leader. The other seats were agreed on consensus. We don't have their full details now. And in the concluding speech of the new national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, he said there is now a formidable opposition, and in no distance time, APC, the ruling party, will be a thing of the past. Dr. Tony Agbons, PDP has just concluded their national convention. We now have their executive in post. What do you have to say? What does it present for 2023?
Thank you, my brother. When you look at first of all, let me talk about the convention that happened in Abuja yesterday. I think they are ending it today. This consensus thing is something that does not really doesn't really tickle my fancy, because I believe that electoral position, people should, they should come and say what they want to do, and then delegates will now make their choice based on what these people want to do. But you know how Nigerian things are. Like you said, out of about 21 positions, only 3. With due respect, some of these positions they are not very consequential. I don't want to use some language. So it's just like they've been meeting and they just handpick people. And if you still look at it, it's still the same crop of people. Somebody like Senator Yocha Ayu, he was the Senate president in the diarchy of General Babangida in 1991, 1992. So, and he's been there. Now he's coming back as PDP national chairman. So it was just like, oh, let us just do this convention to tick the box, because INEC requires that before a general election, you must have done an elective convention. So that is what has happened with the PDP. And I must say that we have somebody from Edo State, because we are from Edo. The Deputy National Youth Leader, Timothy Osadolo, was returned unopposed. So it was, he was one of those that was picked by consensus. Yeah. So he's now the Deputy National Youth Leader. There are some questions people are now asking. What is the age of a youth? Because most of the people we are now seeing as National Youth Leader, some of them are already above 50. So we want to go and check United Nations definition or constitution. Who is a youth? Because this one has become another issue that people are now talking about. But having said all that, let's thank God that at least, like Senator Yocha Ayu said, hopefully we cannot see a more vibrant opposition. Because I must tell you, the last PDP national chairman, Uche Secondus, for me, I didn't personally understand what he was doing. There was no vibrancy. We thought that the APC government is doing, you will expect that, you will take opportunity, tell Nigerians what your party would do differently. That guy was just floating along. So I didn't really understand what he was doing. So for me, let's hope that this new crop, they will start their tenure, I think in December. I'm hoping that we will see a more vibrant opposition, which Nigerians have been lacking for a long time. And it's very unfortunate that in Nigeria, the only two parties we really have in Nigeria, APC, PDP. So some people say, oh, you people don't talk about other parties, but where are they? So to win election in Nigeria, it's either you are in APC or you are in PDP. That is where we are. We are now, unofficially, Nigeria is a two-party state. And it's so unfortunate.
Thank you so much, my brother, Dr. Tony Agbons, for that input. Just to let our viewers know, APC convention is being planned for first week in December. I've just been made to understand. And they would also talk about it when the time comes. The People's Democratic Party pride themselves as being the largest party in sub-Saharan Africa. And only about, at the last election in 2015, they lost out. And they've been in opposition. Some people have argued that they don't know what opposition is. They are still learning. Probably they've not been able to play the role. Uche Secondus that you mentioned is a strong party man. He was a ward chairman to local government chairman and state chairman before coming to the national. So when he was elected, the entire PDP people were full of hope that things will happen. But you agree, we are not members of the PDP, but for us as an onlooker, we didn't really see much. So we can conclude that it didn't really deliver. I remember the issues that happened. We never thought that the election, this convention would happen because Uche Secondus went to court. But the justices at the Supreme Court overruled and his prayers was not heard. I come to Comrade Lamte. You have seen it. The barometer is not set. 2023 is on the offing. Do you think with what PDP has displayed yesterday and today that we are going to see something different in 2023? What is your take?
But honestly, I would say very clearly that we are not carried away. Some of us are not carried away by what is happening right now. They're having their a convention, and of course they are not electing their leaders; they are selecting them based on negotiation, and that is where my brother Tony, Dr. Monasel said, it's troubling. It's only in Nigeria, probably in some other, third world countries, backward countries where you hear things of consensus, in an electoral process and all of that. I think the level of our democracy, we've attained a level where, we would have expected that, we'll get some more maturity more than this and all of that. Our electoral system is not being deepened. We are not we don't appear to be attaining maturity at all. But be that said, that being said, it is good. As the day go by, we are still together. Democracy is still thriving. Hopefully, some of these things will start changing. They may take longer to, but I've already made my point very clear and known that my own center point of focus is Edo State majorly, and I want to say that I am happy with the Edo delegation. We know that a lot is going on right now in the Edo PDP, particularly between the governor and the South Vice Chairman South Dan Obi, and of course the PDP in Edo State is somewhat divided from all the things that have been flying around here and there. But I'm really happy at the maturity with which PDP delegation from Edo State went to Abuja. At the level of Eagle Square, there was hardly known, in fact, nothing could be noticed to suggest that PDP, members from a delegation from Edo State, that they are not united, as it were, So I think that itself is a huge plus. It's a good thing, and it is something that I'm very proud of, and I want to say that as they come back home after this convention, I want to appeal, to all stakeholders that spirit should follow them back home, so that they just cement all fences, ensure that PDP in Edo State is at peace, to move on progressively in Edo State. There are so many things to be pointed out about the convention, about this, about that, even the issue of who is a youth, definition of the youth, and all those kind of things. But I want to believe and hope that as the democracy, thrives on, gradually we may just get there. But for Edo State, I would say that we would like that the differences between some of the stakeholders, particularly the major stakeholders, they are looking to, they are resolved, and they forge a better home front for better development for Edo State. That will be my take. But congratulations to to PDP National. They had this, and of course, we have not seen fights, we have not seen bottles flying around, we have not seen, and so let them go with their unity. And of course, I want to hope that the national chairman is able to bring this PDP to that level that many of us expect an opposition party to be. I remember when Jonathan was the president of Nigeria, this APC today, they were every day in the streets protesting against the governance of Jonathan, protesting against so many things and all of that, mobilizing Nigerians against policies of government. Today, Buhari's government has borrowed life out of Nigerians. As I sit here right now, for no fault of mine, for what I don't know one, no two, I am owing foreigners, foreign creditors, I am owing them over 65,000 naira. The children that I have, each of them is owing the same. The one that never even born, they are owing because of the borrowings Buhari is borrowing. And yet, we have an opposition party, they are not doing anything. So I want to believe that this new PDP executive, we take the bull by the horns and confront this government. My brother, Nigeria is gone. Many people don't know about this. Nigeria is as good as sold out. And yet, they have come and they are presented, they are another this thing bill to the National Assembly for additional borrowing. So we look at it, the priorities of this particular government under Buhari is to finish everybody with debt. So I hope that this opposition will be able to stand up to this government and say, no, we reject this, and mobilize Nigerians against the policies of government. Mobilize them, and that way we say proper leadership. The one of Secondos, it was just a cold water kind of leadership that was not befitting of an opposition party like PDP. I hope this one will not follow the same, the same steps of Secondos and be more active in mobilizing Nigerians. That will be my take, my brother.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamptey. I know you are a true Edo son. National issues, you have a way of bringing it down to Edo State. We had wanted to talk about Edo State and the show and the display of Edo delegates to the national convention, and you said that. I also like that aspect where you've charged the new leadership to be more responsible. Opposition party is an office. In the West, particularly in the UK, the leader of opposition is paid. He has security details and everything because it's the government in waiting. But our Nigeria opposition party is yet to grow. Let's hope and pray that, like you said, they will borrow a leaf from what APC used to do when they were in opposition, and PDP will rise up to the occasion to do that now that there are no court cases. They've all had all their executive. We need to see them do something to give Nigerians hope come 2023. But I don't just want to leave this matter like this before I go back to talk about PDP and Edo State attendance. I just want us to talk briefly, maybe one or two statements. Many people have argued that the way Nigeria is, like you alluded, we are a committee of nations, multiplicity of ethnic languages. We are very different, but yet we are together. Many people have argued, even though consensus is not a veritable means of picking or selecting those to vie for positions or those to lead us. Some people have argued that this may be the only and possibly better way for us to operate for now until our democracy gets matured. What is your take on this, Tony? Consensus or no consensus? How do you see it?
Yeah, I'm not an advocate of this consensus thing. Yeah, there can be one or two consensus. You have about 21 positions, 18 were by consensus. That is just like some few big men just sitting down and picking. Oh, Yocha, are you? It is you we want. David Mark, we don't want you. Former Governor Lagunseye Oyilola, no, it won't be you. There be some big men were just sitting down and hand picking because they are the one that called the shot. Some governors, they are the one that called. So this was selection and not election, which should happen in a convention like this. Because so far we've studied the democratic process in other countries, even in Africa. When they go for things like this, at least you have two people, to say, okay, let's vote for these two. That is why it's a convention. But this one, and I must tell you, we may not have had the last of this thing. And this is why you see at some point some people will not defect, and we will soon enter the full season of defection just now. Yes. Once the APC does their own, then people will start crossing carpet and moving from one city room to the parlor and all that. So it should be election. To be honest, if you were to seek my opinion, the way we get candidates in the Nigerian political process is very, very dangerous. And that is one of the reasons why we don't get the best, getting ticket. Let me just take you to Anambra State. Professor Charles Soludo, former CBN governor, as sound as he is, this is the first time that Soludo is getting tickets to contest election as governor. He's been trying and trying.
That is because he didn't go to the two main parties. So
Yeah, so yeah, no, he's even gone to the PDP. He couldn't get
Yeah, he
it.
couldn't get it. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
couldn't get. Yeah, so he's been everywhere. So and this is now he finally was able to get. So the way, and for ordinary person like you and I, let's say you just want to go and take tickets, join it, you won't get it
No,
except
you can
you
get
can
from
from
if you go to Showori's party.
yeah, you may be able to get and then that one that throws up another challenge, which will be an issue for another day. How one of our viewers now on Facebook, I think is Divine Greatness. He said he wish we'll get a third force. Must everybody really contest election on PDP, APC? To be honest, me, I don't really see much difference between APC and PDP. I look at the two political parties, I think they are the same. Because these politicians, they will move from here, they go there. They'll move from here, they go there. If you look at only a few politicians, you can say has not moved around. Very few, to not be up to 5%. So they just keep moving around, jostling for position here and there. So consensus for me, not for me.
To be honest, can I add to this, sir?
Yes, go ahead. I wanted to call you, so just take it up from there.
Oh yes. To be honest, I honestly, I think it's hampering our democracy. And I think that the National Assembly can save the process. There are two things that are not good at all. You see, indiscriminate cross-carpeting, looking at the way our own democracy and politics, have evolved, I think probably it's essential right now that we begin to touch aspects of the Constitution by way of amendment. A clause like, if you are a registered member of any political party, okay, you must be in that political party for at least 3 electoral windows before you can have the right to move to any other political party. Such kind of clause, may bring sanity to our normal, regular, everyday politicians. And this issue of, what's it called, consensus candidates. At the end of the day, when you look at PDP just now, what you are seeing right now, what happened at the Go Square between yesterday and today, for me, it's a carnival. It's not a convention. And whatever you saw there, it already happened before. They met, discussed, did all the things. You saw Dan Obi did his birthday. Everybody is just talking about birthdays. Some governors attended, Atiku attended, this attended. I laughed. When I listened to some of the things that took place on that ground, the level of Dan Obi's birthday in Abuja, my brother, it was not because of Dan Obi's birthday that most of those guys went there. It was all part of political cementing of this whole matter that has to do with this convention and all of that. And what is the drive? Now, many Nigerians are expecting, they don't carry national leader, national chairman go one region now. Probably the presidential candidate of a PDP now should come from the south. My brother, the reason why this is being done is to further protect the interests of Atiku. Let's call it spade a spade. Atiku is like 85% the next presidential candidate of the PDP. Many of us,
Comrade Lamte, we have our sources, but let's not let the cat out of the bag now, because we don't know yet.
Because all these things, they are all geared towards one, and that's what is very painful about our own kind of system. It is too selfish. There is no room given for growth. People who are supposed to come up and beef up the entire structure, make it workable, and make life better for Nigerians, they never get the chance. They never do. So this whole thing is orchestrated towards one direction. It's being, driven towards one direction. And that's what pains me for our own elites from the south. Look at what is happening right now in the east that we're talking about, in the southeast we're talking about right now. Many of the eastern political leaders and elites, they are involved in the process. They are part of the same problem. They are the ones who have opened willingly their doors for the federal government to send troops in to come and begin to carry out this kind of destruction they are carrying out. They are the ones who are unable to reach proper negotiation with their people to ensure that there is sanity in the eastern region because of belly infrastructure. So when you look at it, at the end of the day, we from the south, we are condescending too much, and we are likely going to remain in the same place for a long time to come, except we get sense.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamptey, for that input. You know, while you were talking before, and when Dr. Tony Agbon said something, he mentioned the third force. And I went back again to think of what you said before. If these Biafrans or the Eastern security people have come together to create a third force, a local third force, even in Anambra State, they would have given a very good opposition. So it is something that we really need to consider. Maybe third force, not as a national level, but let it start local, and probably maybe it may grow. Then I just want to say about consensus. I think what we practice now in Nigeria is not consensus. I don't think consensus is wrong, in my considered opinion. But the way it works is that if myself, yourself, and Tony, we are interested in a position, we are then called to the table. Three of us will now concede to say, okay, with the issues, let us now give it to Comrade Lamptey. That is what consensus really is. But that's not what we practice in our own democracy. It is more like an agreement, like you said. Because over the last few weeks, since APC did their congress across the state, many APC members have been aggrieved, and they are threatening to go to court. And some of their reasons is that consensus was done even when they were not there. How can you barb my hair when I'm not sitting in the barber's chair? So we are not even doing consensus at all. It's more of an arrangement, because like we were told, all the northern people came together and agreed that Ayocha Ayu would be the national chairman. There was celebration. You can see those people that agreed coming together. Are you telling me that the 18 seats that were not contested for, there were candidates that were brought together to talk about it? So anything that comes to our country is almost in a way somehow manipulated. So it's not consensus at all. It's just some form of negotiation. I just wanted to share that to our viewers. Then as we wrap up on this, just to talk about Edo State and PDP, we've had so many issues with the leader of the South-South part of PDP and the Edo State governor and many other things that have happened. While we cannot really verify everything, we don't really know how truthful these informations are. But we are glad to see the governor of Edo State led a delegation in unison to Eagle Square for the National Convention. Comrade Lamptey has hinted and talked about the positive from that. But I just want us to have a swipe at it again and see what this portends for leadership, governance, and democracy in our dear Edo State. Dr. Tony Agbon, I have not really seen all the visuals. I don't know if you are, but what do you have to say with Governor Baseki leading delegation of 95 delegates to Eagle Square to do the PDP National Convention? Dr. Tony, please.
Yeah, I've seen some of the visuals myself. It was very heartwarming for me, and I was glad. Everybody in Edo State, for the PDP, which is the ruling party in Edo State, everybody need to pull together and work together, because for many years, the PDP, since 2007, when Chief Lucky Benedict finished his tenure, the PDP could not even go near Dennis Osadebe Avenue. So, and this one came on a platter of gold, like circumstance dictated. So I think they should, the PDP in Edo State, everybody should work together, work with the governor to deliver. That should be the thing. People should drop their self-interest, let everybody work together to deliver. The people want delivery of, promised of promises made during the election. So, and if that is done, whoever the PDP in Edo State will bring out in the Edo State 2024 election, it will just be a walk in the park. That is what I think. But if
bro, it's not whoever, because if you ask me,
okay, let me change my if after they deliver on this, you bring out another candidate, it will be easier. Let me rephrase my word. Thank you for that. So it will be easier. But when you don't deliver, there's no delivery, and then even if you bring the best candidate, or you bring any other person, people will say what you promised before you didn't do. And one thing politicians, I'm just leaving Edo State a little bit now. Politicians will need to realize is that social media is playing a big role in politics now. So a lot of things that before NTA and channels and Galaxy TV and all these other television stations will not cover. People can do it on YouTube, on Facebook, TikTok, and everywhere. So there's a lot of information out there that people cannot see. So our politicians should know that Nigerians too are getting very, very, very clever. And I must say this, at the national level, the APC don't really stand a chance, because I think Nigerians have seen that it is not things that were promised in 2013, 2014 that have been delivered in the past 6 years. So that is it. So seeing the Edo PDP delegation at the Eagle Square in Abuja together, I hope it was really together. So we are happy about that, at least for the common good of our state.
Dr. Tony Agbons, I know, but I just want to warn you, don't be too quick to judge. Just like we blame the government, Nigerians are also culpable. 2023 may just be another watershed, and you'll be surprised that APC may clinch the office again.
I saw a footage. People were sharing money in the name of Ahmed Tinubu. Election that's going to take place. The money, the president started sharing money today.
So yes, I saw that footage as well. Yeah, it was by one house like that. I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult. Maybe another day we'll need to talk about that, because sometimes when you see what our own Nigerians do, you wonder.
It's not 2 plus 2 equals to 4.
I like what Divine Greatness said. He said PDP is not yet the ruling party in Edo State. He said Obaseki is the ruling party.
I was just coming to that comment. In line with this unity that we saw at Eagle Square, and with the statement of Divine Greatness, can you just speak on that for 2 minutes, please?
Okay. I think Divine Greatness makes a lot of sense here. When he said that PDP is not ruling, it is Obaseki that is the ruling party. However, I think Governor Obaseki needs to play his own politics very well, because the political party is a structure made of people, and everything that has to be done with proper negotiations, so that even you as a governor, you don't feel isolated by the people you govern. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? I think that if the governor must have a hold, the governor must build his own PDP. When I mean his own PDP, he must set a proper template, okay? And of course, he must have his own proper disciples, in governance, empowered, okay, to give a proper direction, for the party. And of course, for every human being who is a structure in themselves, who are structures in themselves, and who are stakeholders, okay, I think, all that needs to be done is negotiations and negotiations and negotiations. That is if PDP is to have a chance at all to win the next governorship election. Besides that, Comrade Tony Agbonasa, I think, said just now that if the governor does well, any candidate PDP brings is likely going to win, which is true. But the matter is that the state of Edo politically is as complex as Nigeria. And I'll tell you why. Nigeria today, okay, we have done too much injustice against the Easterners. If you ask me, okay, for equity, for justice, the person who's supposed to be the next president of Nigeria should be an Easterner. These people, the nation Nigeria, we have undone them too much. We have been too unjust to them. This is the truth. I'm just speaking my simple mind. But that is not going to happen, because of all of these factors. They want to have a reason not to do it. And the only reason why it is not happening is because Ahmadu Bello many years ago told the world, told the international press, that the Northerners will never allow Igbos to ascend the seat of power ever in Nigeria. This has been more than 60 years ago. Till today, after that statement, Igbos have not ascended power in Nigeria, and that is not a good thing in a nation. So, and this is why some of the things that I say we can negotiate, okay, and find a way around them to make Nigeria a more peaceful place. You cannot expect people who are this short-changed, who are this misled, who are this, the nation have been so much unjust to. We just case them and they will not speak.
Yeah,
the children of the millions.
Comrade, I just want you to link it with Edo State because you are going
Yes,
national.
I'll come to Edo State now. The children of the millions, okay, of people that died during the Civil War and all of that, they are the ones asking for justice today in a way of calling for Biafra. Now, coming to Edo State, we have had since this, what's it called now, this democratic era we have now, we've had the Edos govern Edo State. We have the Edo North govern Edo State. We've not really had the Edo Central govern Edo State. That itself is an issue.
We had one, but it was removed by the court.
Oh yeah, no, that only man govern how many districts. That was not don't govern Edo State. Yeah. We had Oshomole 8 years. We have had Lucky Benedion. We've had my brother, our big uncle, which was his name, Oyegun. We are having Obaseki right now. We have had Oshomole, and alongside Oshomole, we are having Philip Shuaibu now running 8 years as deputy governor. We've not really had anybody from the Eastern
apart from Abrosali.
Huh?
Apart from
apart of this era,
yeah.
Since
Lucky Benedion started this era, so we leave Oyegun out. Yeah.
We've not had anybody from Eastern land. And from the one who we are hearing, it is equally very likely that Eastern man will not succeed the governor of Edo State. That itself would already be placing Edo State a lot more like Nigeria against the Igbo people.
No, but comrade, I think for Edo State, 2024 is still far. But I think the ESA agenda is looking strong.
Oh, bro, it is looking strong from the voices of some people on social media. This is the truth. From the one who we are hearing, there are people who are aspiring to govern Edo State, who are not from that region, who are looking even stronger than anybody that you suspect is going to come from that region. So, but we are here. May God keep us, all of us, alive. We go there to talk about the matter.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying now? But I just want to say that in this era, we need to sit down and allow equity, balance, and justice be prevalent. Because, my brother, and I said this publicly, if at the end of the day, getting to the time of the election, and I look at the field, the people brought up by these political parties, they are not the people I believe are just, or they are not the people that I believe maintain the rule of balance as far as Edo State is concerned. I will pick a ticket and run for governorship myself. I will encourage you to do. Because I think that we must start from now. Start looking at those persons who have that.
But is this sorry, our anchor or Comrade Remira, is this not the same talk we are hearing at the national level, that people are saying, the North needs to bring the presidential candidate, and we are looking at quality of is it not the same language, Comrade Lampton?
It's the same thing.
It is. That's I do the similitude to say it is the Edo story is not too far-fetched from the Nigerian story. But we like the Edo story to be exemplary, to set good examples for the nation. But at the end of the day, now this one life, you understand what I'm saying now? We must be able to carry all all of us, all parts of the state along equitably. You understand what I'm saying now? Some people made a proper, and I think it's just. You know, they made a calculation. They said, man, look, allow the Benin's to govern for maybe calculate 16 years, you know, 2 terms for 2 governors from Benin's, then one from the other regions, because of the numerical whatever of the various what we call the senatorial zones and all of that, to say Edo State, you know, Edo South has more than half of the entire population of Edo State, and for that reason, some people are making that argument. But even if that argument is to be made, let it be on the table of negotiations with all stakeholders seated to say this is how we want to make we do it, and it should be binding on everybody. I'm just saying, say not be anybody will be bring comments. Now go win the next governorship. Things need to be done in a way we say, man, it will appeal on a balanced scale to the eyes of the people who are going to be the electorate, and the force that will convince the electorate, you know, on who to support.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamte. If I leave you, you can talk from now till tomorrow, especially when it comes to the issue of our dear Edo State, of which you are a strong advocate. But I must thank yourself and Dr. Tony Agbons. I think we've really looked at this very well. The summary is that unity is very important. We've appreciated the unity that the Edo delegates, led by our governor, Obaseki, displayed at the convention, and that is very good. Just while I'm trying to round up, I just want to say that when we all work together, things move on. Last week, we talked about the progress that the governor has made concerning the School of Nursing and Midwifery, and we could not give a date when the accreditation would happen. But just midweek, I can say with happiness, with authority, that the accreditation of that school is out, and we are good to go. So, Dr. Tony Agbons, just a word on this good news that we heard this week.
Very good news, my brother. Thank you for bringing this out to the open. Most people may not know that school was deaccredited. The accreditation was actually removed by the Nigerian, what do they call it? The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. They removed the accreditation. So even if the students were going to school there, if they finish nursing, their certificate, they won't get a license to practice, because Austin, you are a professional. So you need license when you go to read nursing, medicine, accountancy. Some of these professionals, if you don't get a license, you cannot practice in Nigeria or anywhere else in the world. So accreditation that was withdrawn in 2012 has now been given back to the school because of the facilities that the Edo State government has provided under the able leadership of His Excellency Governor Godwin Obaseki. So kudos. It was all over the press during the week. Accreditation done and dusted. And the good news is that the students who have gotten admission, they are going to resume their studies middle of next month, which is starting tomorrow. So we're going to provide more update as the students streaming, they do their matriculation. We will let our viewers know. It is very good because, like we said last week, nursing is the base of healthcare. Without nursing, forget it. Nothing is going to happen. Thank you, my brother. I hope I haven't taken too much of your time.
Thank you, Dr. Tony Agbons. Comrade Lamte, just a one-liner on this good news. Over to you.
I just align totally with Dr. Agbons. Honestly.
That's good.
Kudos to Edo State. Kudos to the government of Edo State. I think we need to move quickly to the next phase. Admit the children, the students, and get things going. It's very important. Whatever is done, is dusted. We move on. We want to see a lot more. We want to see a lot more what the government is doing. Do people need to be convinced that yes, this government is working. So far, information is not coming out about what government is doing, holistically. Edo people want to hear. Let the people who are given the responsibility to speak to Edo people, let them do their job and make the Edo people aware where government is at every point in time. But on this, goes to the government and the governor of Edo State.
Thank you very much. We'll draw the curtain now, our viewers, and we are happy to be drawing the curtain on Edo State. I just have one more advice for the governor. Thank you for forming your cabinet a few weeks ago. There are still other positions that are vacant. Let us hope that in the next few weeks, or maybe by next Sunday, we'll have more information for names and people that will be filling those positions so that you can start running like you started already. We thank you for the noble thing you did with the School of Nursing and for the accreditation. That's all for Edo State. My viewers, thank you so much. You've been with us and you've joined us. We've looked at PDP, everything we've said with APC, national security, and the Anambra state election. We appeal to the Eastern people, especially the Anambra people, to be resolute and come out en masse and vote and be vigilant. We appeal to all of them to drop their sword. Let's not kill our own. PDP, you've come out with a national ESCO now. We want to see real opposition. APC-led government, we are waiting for your convention. But even while we are waiting for that, we want you to give us good governance. I want to thank my CNC, Comrade Show, and for Dr. Tony, who have joined me today to make this program worth it and have done justice. So I'll call on Dr. Tony Agbons to give your final word.
Yeah, before final word, I want to remind one of our viewers, Divine Greatness. Thank you, my brother. He said, this is to pharmacist Remira and Comrade Lamte. You guys didn't tell our viewers that Manchester United won 3-0 yesterday. So, because last week, you guys were having a go at me with style. So, thank you, Divine Greatness. You are very much on the team. So, what do you have to say now concerning that, Austin?
Divine Greatness, I think you are a Manchester United fan. We need to find you some money because we are exposing your club to the world now. But thank you for looking. Thank you for watching over Dr. Tony Agbons and good information. You guys won 3-2 to my arch rival Tottenham because I'm an Arsenal.
No, 3-0, not 3-2.
I'm very sorry. 3-0.
It was a thrashing.
It is very sad that Man United fans are beginning to act like Arsenal fans that we've known, of late. You beat Spurs 3-0 and the whole world must come to your feet. I don't understand. Tottenham Hotspur.
Anyway, no problem.
I don't get it.
Anyway, no problem. We'll talk more on sports. I just want to appeal to our viewers today. There is no update from the Benin City Youth League, but hopefully next week we have more. And Tony, you were just giving your final words. So
yeah, thank you, our very, very great viewers, all of you that have made comments. Thank you so much. And all of you that will still watch this program later, thank you. I wish you a very, very happy new month beginning tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons, for that. For me, our viewers, you've been fabulous. You've been great. Remember, keep safe. We'll see you again next Sunday. Thank you for joining the Sunday Tonic. Remember to always share this program. And thank you for all your support, all your comments. We really, really welcome that. And I will pass the baton to CNC to say his final words and do the final razzmatazz. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my brother. Yes, I want to express my gratitude first and foremost to Austin Remiran for anchoring this program, this segment, very well, and of course to Comrade Dr. Tony Agbonase. Of course, as always, your consistency is compared to none. Thank you so very much. Of course, our very active viewers and supporters of the Comrade Show, thank you so very much. I see Divine Greatness, thank you so much. The very business, you are definitely part of this program. You provide your own calls. You know, we are happy to have you on with us. Kingsley Eboigbe, thank you. You've made it worthwhile for us. Yeah, Efosa Matthew, Uwesi Kakabo, thank you so very, very much. Thank you. Yes, my brother is there. I mean, these are people really that have been very, very active. Femi Obano, Obi Ude Paul. Obi, anyway, I could understand where you're coming from. Well, I respect your opinions and your views. Where equally here, equally expressing as Paul Edo, thank you so very much. You guys go on Facebook and on YouTube. Definitely, you guys made this program what it is. Almost Iyamu, OTT Wonder, my personal author, thank you so very much for being part of this. Unity Idehen, I equally see you. You'll be very active too. Yes, thank you. So many of you guys. Rahim Greatness, thank you so very, very much for being with us. Felicia Boegbe, as always, you are consistent. Monaco, Matt, Erasmus, Nanji, thank you. You guys have been wonderful. Please keep sharing the Comrade Show. The Comrade Show is being the Comrade and Friends. My name is Comrade Lante Orea here, and of course, next Sunday we're going to be with you guys again. With another, some other subject matter. But having said that, let me quickly remind us that I don't know how they did do one, but somehow you get away something the change for this Euro whole day. I didn't experience that when I was in Nigeria many years ago, but now at certain time of the year it will change them. You will either be front or you will be back. So right now we are now 1 hour. Nigeria is now 1 hour ahead of us. So while our program, this Comrade and Friends, will still be on every Sunday. 5 p.m. UK time is going to be on 6 p.m. Nigerian time. So 6 p.m. Nigerian time is when we're going to be, our broadcast is going to be on. Somebody did send me a text message earlier to say that it's very late and all of that they didn't start with us. Where and also the time we change, it don't really affect Nigeria. Nigeria remains, but 6 o'clock in Nigeria right now, it's not 5 p.m. in the UK. So please let's take notes. 6 p.m. Nigerian time is when the Comrade and Friends will be on every Sunday. On that note, my people, I want to say big thank you. May God bless you all. May God bless Edo State and the governor of Edo State. May God bless Nigeria and Nigerians. And I want to say bye for now till see you again.
The Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Orea, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. The Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Orea, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is